Hello. This video is going to show you how to work through our classroom presentations each week. This course will have one presentation per week, and that will include everything that you need to do for the week. It's really important that you understand how our presentation works, and to help you with this, I have provided an instruction video at the start of each week. You've actually found our week 1 part 1 direction video, and that's what you're watching now, so congratulations, pat yourself on the back. But I wanted to let you know that each week we'll have this direction video. I would recommend that at the start of our semester you watch the direction video. If you get 2 or 3 weeks in and you understand how to work through the presentations, then it is your choice if you choose to view them anymore or not. Honestly, I don't think you'll probably need to, but if you have questions, know that they're always there. So the direction video will show you what to do in the presentation. So I'm going to open our presentation right now. And I'm going to give you a really important piece of information. Our presentations are completed through Google Slides, as you can see. Google Slides is fantastic because it's accessible to everyone. The problem with Google Slides is when we embed it in D2L, our learning management system here at HACC, sometimes we have glitches, and no one likes glitches. So listen very carefully. The 2 ways to problem solve this are to, number 1, make sure you're working in Google Chrome. This is your browser. If you're working in Safari or you're working in Firefox or Internet Explorer, you want to close out and you want to reopen eHack in Google Chrome. It will give you your best results. The second thing is when you view our presentations, for the best viewability, you don't want to look at it in this tiny little size. That would really be hard on your eyes, but it is also not going to allow you to interact with our presentations the way you'll need to. You used to be able to click on the Google Slides button to make it full screen, but now we're going to click on the full screen button. So if you come over here and you click full screen, you can see we have full screen of not the right thing right now. Give me a second. This is a glitch that happens when I'm videoing for some reason. It only does it when I'm making a video. I just tested it before we did this. And you know what? I'm not working in Google Chrome. So I'm going to do this the right way. And you can see me do this. Go into Google Chrome. Here's our course. Here we go. Let's see if what I just told you not to do is going to make a difference. Here's our presentation. We're going to open it full screen. Look at that. So just like I mentioned to you before, you want to make sure you're working in Google Chrome. And I was very graphic in illustrating that to you. Now, you see how this is full screen? This is important because we want to be able to interact with these presentations. So as you go through, you can see at the bottom there are some options. There's play, and there are the arrows that move side to side. I want to make sure that you are using the side to side arrows. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. And you're going to start every single one of our presentations with a weekly class message. This is like the morning message that I did in my own classroom when I was a kindergarten and first grade teacher. It allowed me to give the boys and girls information about our day, but also I did a lot of mini lessons with these. I would write them up on an easel each day, and I would make mistakes, so they'd have to proofread. I would leave out punctuation. I would have them search for some sort of phonics skill, maybe find all the blended letters or all the digraphs. But every day we started with a message. So you're going to start every presentation with a message as well. At the bottom of the message, I'm always going to prep you for the journal that you will be reading or responding to. And I know you're not far enough into the course to know this, but each week you'll have a reflective journal worth 10 points. What I'd like you to think about for your journal is always posted in your morning message. So this week, as you work through the presentation, I want you to think about, why am I taking this course and what do I hope to learn? And also, how do your personal beliefs about literacy learning influence your instructional decisions? These actually come directly from your syllabus where we have our course goals, and each one of these course goals is going to be answered through a journal. There'll be more to come about that in a little bit. After that, we're going to do a brainstorming session, and you're going to add your ideas to our group brainstorm. So you can see that we have a highlighted link here. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to take you into a Padlet board. Now, there's already some things here. It will be blank when you get here. I have several courses of 270 going on at once. But Padlet is an interactive brainstorming or sharing site if you haven't been on it in the past. And it's really neat because, I'm going to get rid of a couple here. When you want to use Padlet, all you have to do is find an open space and click on it. And you can see a new board or a new writing area pops up. And you'll always title it, and you want to make sure you always have your name on. So we're brainstorming right now. What skills do you need to know before you can read? You can write in your name. And then click on the gray part, and you can type in your answer. When you're done and you click off of it, it stays. Okay. If you noticed, you can also add pictures, you can add video, you can add links. It's a really great tool. We'll use this all semester in several times in each presentation. So that's what you'll do when it takes you there. Now, for some reason, we popped back out of our full screen. So we're going to go back to full screen. And we're moving on. I want you to watch the video on the right and think about how teaching and learning has changed in the 21st century. As a classroom teacher in the 21st century, your job is going to be significantly different than the job of teachers in 1990, in 1970, in 2000 even, because we have just new advances in the way that we teach and how we can integrate technology into our daily schedule. So watch the video and think about that. And then we're moving on to think about teachers of reading. If you are a teacher that teaches children reading skills of any sort, do those teachers need professional knowledge or personal knowledge? Knowledge that anyone would have would be personal knowledge. So I want you to watch this video, and then I want you to decide which is more important. Do you need both? And can parents be teachers of reading? When we move to the next slide, you're also going to think about these approaches that teachers take to teaching literacy. So you're going to watch a video, and you're going to think about these two questions. When I ask you to think about a question, it's probably best if you jot some answers down on notebook paper, just like you're taking notes if we were in a classroom together. Now we're going to do a sorting activity. The sorting activity is going to look at 5 different things that we'll be learning more about this semester. And what you're going to do is just take a quick peek at the 5 areas of literacy at the top, and on a piece of scrap paper, jot down what you think will be the answer. So you'll just match them up, and then watch the video for the answers. And again, this is just a quick kind of warm up to our semester and gets you thinking about some of the vocabulary and terms that we'll be going over the course of the semester. So we call this whole process balanced literacy. And in our classroom, how do we keep literacy balanced? We will come back to balanced literacy pretty much every week. And I want you to read on page 16 and 17 and look at figure 1-3 and come up with answers to what are the components of balanced literacy and how do you keep this balance in your classroom. Now, it's always important after you have learned something new to make a connection to what you already know. So I want you to click on the picture on the right and share answers to these questions. A lot of these questions were things I asked you to think about earlier in the presentation. So number 1, how did you learn to read? Was it more teacher-centered or student-centered? Number 2, how will you teach students to read? Will it be more teacher-centered or learner-centered? And last, what literacy instruction have you observed in classrooms around you from the presentation today? And when you have answers to those, you're going to click right here, and it's going to take you back to that Padlet board. And as you can see, there's already some answers there. You're going to add your answers. And it has all 3 questions, again, listed for you up here. So make sure you answer all 3 parts. And most importantly, you can see we have a couple no-namers here. Make sure your name is on that board. If it's not, you don't get points for it. Okay, so if we go back here, again, we went back to that small screen. I will always end our presentation with what is due as your homework. This will match your syllabus, course calendar. It will also match on D2L. So today you had your Padlet boards that you already saw, and also you're going to do your journal and put it in the weekly Dropbox. And there are those journal questions again that I showed you in your morning message. You're going to read chapter 1 and you're going to skim chapter 9 for next week. And that is our presentation this week. Now, I'll be quite honest, this week's presentation looks a lot different than the presentations to come. This is an introduction week, so it's short, but it's also just kind of simplified to get you ready for what's coming. Now, if you go back into our week 1, part 1 folder, you can see that we now have that journal project. So you're going to want to open this, and this is a handout. And this is the video that goes along with the handout. So open the journal handout and then watch the video, and it will explain to you everything you need to know about that weekly journal, including how to get all 10 points. When you have your journal written, you're going to put it right here in this Dropbox. And I will check them and I will write comments to you each week. Your journals will all go into the same Dropbox every week, and they'll just accumulate over the course of the semester with 10 points available each week. And this is basically it for week 1, part 1. Remember, for this course, we're checking in every Monday and every Thursday. And every Monday, you'll start a new presentation and you'll have a new folder over here. And every Thursday, you'll work on the part 2 folder. And that will keep going till we're finished with our 7 weeks. If you have any questions, please post them on Facebook. You can also use the discussion boards under Ask a Question that I showed you earlier. But really, if you need fast answers, it's probably best to put it on our Facebook group. And have a good week.